The Always Smiling Faces podcast is brought to you by Guglielmo Clothing. For a 10% discount, use the code AWSFPod at the checkout. Enjoy the podcast.
You do it for the money, consume it on the TV. You tell me it's the fashion, original. Post another picture, change yourself to fit in. You get a big reaction, so popular.
Okay. Hey Jude.
Hey Jude.
Don't make it. Anyway. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast. You with me, Mark, and the good-looking
Meatloaf.
Well, I'll get on to that in a minute. But who?
Meatloaf.
Who the fuck's? Which one of us was Meatloaf? Because nobody looks like Meatloaf. But that's neither here nor there.
Maltloaf.
We've got Maltloaf. Soreen.
Maltloaf,
I think it's Soreen we're butter on.
Maltloaf's lovely, isn't it? I think it's nice.
When
Loads
those
of
are
butter.
finished.
Loads of butter on it.
Them two as well. I'm not even going to bother introducing them.
Hi, I'm Kris. Nice to meet you all.
I'm Deka. Lovely to meet you all, as always.
Chris is a scab.
I'm super positive this evening.
I'm a scab. We'll get on to that later as well. I'm a
Oh,
scab.
are you, aren't you?
That was
I
my
think we're all
fault. That
scabs,
as well.
to be honest.
I'm not.
You fucking are. And a Tory.
Tory. Yes, 4 seconds and he's a Tory. Yes. Right, we're going to try and
Just to clarify, I'm not a Tory, right? Just to clarify this, like, I'm not.
This podcast, we'll try and do it without censoring anything Deka says, hopefully.
Yeah.
He's on his best behaviour at night, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I best just be
Never
quiet
gonna
for
We'll
the
see,
whole
because
thing.
it's normally the
Never
last
gonna
5-10 minutes where something...
Do you know what tends to happen when I go on my second one?
Second point.
Aye, so I start off quite reserved and I'm alright, and then I have two and I'm like, you're not here, and that's it. It just
I'm
comes.
going to make a bold prediction.
I haven't actually, like.
It'll happen when we get on to the second half of Saturday's
It's
match.
probably, probably. Right, so shall we start off? Right, so the starting 11, I think we're all pretty shocked at that.
Hey, I called Murphy starting like.
You did?
Oh, I called him.
The podcast itself was said you can never second guess Rafa because these players that have been on long distance,
Which we
chances
had
are he is
half an
gonna
idea,
drop.
like, didn't we?
Yeah, but then you look at Yedlin, he long distance only played the last 20 minutes of his game, but it still took him
'cause we
about
went out.
12 flights to get back to Newcastle.
Yeah,
You've got no choice but to play him, though, really, have you?
That is true.
yeah.
Whereas the other positions we've got, I was going to say a strength in depth. I don't know about.
So I think the biggest shock was Hayden.
Well, but again, we talked about that last week, didn't we? That there was a lot of rumours going around about it.
We did, but I think were you
But
not
we just
shocked?
didn't think. We just didn't think it was going to
I
happen.
was stunned.
I
was
like,
absolutely
especially
stunned.
with he doesn't want to be at the club. He's made that pretty clear. His
Well,
performance against Forest.
he's got no choice now, though, has he?
Cardiff.
He
can't-
doesn't, but we have the choice to play him. A player that doesn't want to be at the club.
His last time out, he got sent off within minutes.
Yeah. So we'll get on to Hayden in a bit more detail because I think
Yeah, of course.
we need to focus on some of the things. Well, in fact, what he didn't do.
Well.
We'll get on to that in a bit though.
Yep.
So yeah, he was a shock. Joslu Rondon, we've all said Rondon, but you can see why. Joslu started.
absolutely. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah.
Um,
I was disappointed, but I understood it
Yeah.
completely because there was pictures of him. It was like Thursday night or something. He was travelling back. He's had it. He's absolutely had it. He's not going to play. You know what I mean? So.
I think other than that, we got it pretty right. Obviously, Murphy was on there.
Well, it was just the Shelvey one. We weren't sure whether or not
Yeah.
he'd be fit or not, and
Shit.
I guess when there was the noises in the week of him training and that he might be ready and stuff like that, but I guess he just wasn't. He wasn't quite there.
So the game started, and in the first 10 minutes, you could see Lascelles wasn't right. Adam looked at me and he said he's done something with his ankle, and I just thought he was absolutely knackered. He was standing with his hands on his hips most of the first half, and
There was
later on you could see him.
there was a point where he the ball kind of went out for it was either a corner or a goal kick, and he kind of like shepherded it out, and as he turned to then run back on the pitch, he just didn't look right at all.
I don't think he looked right after the first few minutes, mate. You could tell something wasn't right. Rumours are going around that he hurt himself in training. In
Well, apparently he
pre-match
did in
warm-up.
in the pre-match.
So those rumours are going around. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. But it looks like he just thought, I'll carry on. I'll run it off. I'll run it off.
It didn't.
Not 'cause that
It didn't
works, but-
seem. It didn't seem to massively hinder him
It
through
didn't.
the
When
first
he had a run,
half.
he did.
Yeah.
Honestly, you've noticed more than I did because I
You
didn't
don't notice.
think there was a thing wrong with him.
Yeah.
If that's not because Arsenal didn't do fuck all the first half,
that is probably why.
I never, honestly,
To
truthfully,
be
didn't
fair,
think it
you
was
sit
all
at the opposite side of the pitch, though, don't you?
If
To-
we-
I'm
aye.
nigh on directly behind him. You're
No,
in line
no.
with him.
I'm like 10 rows.
I'm The opposite side of where you used
you're
to
the
go.
left. Aye,
But
you're
bang in
left
line.
side.
But I was more close at the back four than I was.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't see
I think
any
he's
problems.
been in-
But what I mean is you'd have been watching Dummett and Fernandez.
Fernandez.
Was
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
Absolutely
Unbelievable.
I've got a few questions there in
What
regards
a-
to Fernandez.
Unbelievable.
But yeah,
Even the
Lascelles-
sliding tackle, that was the best sliding tackle
Was
I've
great,
seen in
wasn't it?
years. Anyway, sorry.
Lascelles, he didn't look right. Once again, he didn't really have much to do in that first half, hence why it wasn't so noticeable for yourself.
Yeah, honestly,
Well, I don't know. It wasn't that they had much to do. I just think the way that they played first half,
Arsenal was shite
they
first half.
really
Either way, it was
they really
shite.
took it to them, and they were pressing them high up the pitch. They weren't letting them settle on the ball.
Can I just say,
chase them down and
one of
stuff
the
like
things
that.
we did do well in the first half was get the ball in the box.
Yeah.
The amount of balls that come in the box in decent areas. But
Well,
there's just no one there.
I mean, they weren't particularly good crosses or chances though. Whether that
the
was
issue
only-
you've got again, right, is that they played the way that I love to see them play, especially at home, is on the front foot. You know, like getting in their faces. You've got to get in these teams' faces. You've got to. There was one time, you know, when they were trying to pass it around at the back, and we pressed them, and they just absolutely flapped and just kicked it out to play.
I think
and
everyone
I
knew that.
shouted,
Check as
"We're
well.
going to score here." I just really felt it. But we got about 104 corners within about 10 minutes. It felt like we had corner after corner. But the issue again, going back to the crossing, you've only got one man in the middle.
Yeah.
So that cross has to be perfect to just hit that one man. And we're flooding forward, if you like, getting in good areas, but there's only one man in the middle.
The quality
It's
of
just-
the final ball was just atrocious. Time after
it
time.
was, but if Richie or well, Murphy's just, oh my God. But Richie on the other side, he was at least trying to get the ball over. If you've got a couple of people breaking into the box, a bad cross can all of a sudden look good if there's people willing to get on the end of it. But if you've only got Yosselu, that cross has to be the best cross
It
ever.
seems like the crosses we're putting in the box sometimes are decent deliveries, but like you say, there's only Yosselu there
That's it,
waiting.
huh?
There's
You don't
no
get
attempt
bodies
to put the ball back across the box, like back into players running there, because there's no one physically there.
No, there's not. No, there's not. And that, I don't know if that's. I think that's confidence. You know, personally, I think it's confidence.
People shit scared to get too far.
I
on the
think
pitch.
it is. I think it is. Yeah. Personally,
Because I thought again first half they did get further up the pitch. There was times where Diarmi was up in the edge of the box.
Attacking wise, I think
Hayden
we were pretty good, but is that because Arsenal was so shite?
I
think
think
they
that was
flattered us a
more.
little
I think that was more to do with the way we played against them than anything else. Everything that they did went through. What's the kid? The kid in the middle with the massive
Louise,
hair.
he's alright. He's alright.
I thought he was their best player.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
In
Young
that
lad.
first half, and they took him off at half time,
Yeah, he's
which
alright,
I couldn't understand. And I thought, when I seen that, I was like, all right, we're laughing here now, because I'd literally just had that conversation of everything was going through him, and he was by far their best player. Yes, they didn't really create much, but he was constantly keeping the ball moving, trying to get it.
We did when them had the ball in certain areas, we were dropped deep and kept with shape, but then we were winning it early, and then everybody was going forward, which that was exactly the performance
We haven't seen it for a while.
There was one point where they had a corner, and it ended up going from their corner to the edge of our box, got picked up by one of their players, and they passed it back to their
Yes,
keeper.
that's right, they did.
Because we pushed out and pushed out and pressed and pressed and pressed.
I thought we looked brilliant, especially the first 10, 15 minutes.
Couldn't fault with first half.
There wasn't much to talk about in the first half. I don't want to make it over exaggerate how.
Well, that
good
was
a
the problem, isn't
performance
it? We played well, but we don't have any
There's
creativity.
nothing there to show of it.
That's the problem. We have no creativity. So yes, we played really well, but we didn't create a single chance, really, from what I remember. Well, maybe one.
There wasn't
It's
any
not
There's no
enough,
clear
though, is it?
cut.
any clear
No,
cut
there
chances, and
wasn't.
that's what I'm saying.
No, there
In the final third, that final ball is what let us down.
In regards, I think first half wise, that's probably pretty much summed it up. Half decent performance.
Well, that's
probably.
good. I would say I think it's the best performance I've
the way
seen.
some people have gone on about it that were absolutely fantastic. I don't think it was fantastic. Like I say, you're only good as if you're putting goals, if you're putting the ball in the back of the net, which we're struggling to do.
Yeah.
So-
Which I always say we will.
The second half comes along. Obviously, Lascelles goes off, which we'll get on to in a bit later. But in regards to substitutes coming on the pitch, that, in my opinion, that substitution affected it loads.
Well, it was two.
a forced
It
substitution.
was two key things: Lascelles going off injured and Clark coming on, and then making a change in midfield, taking off. I can't even think of his name now. Taking him off and bringing on.
Whatever, number 11, whatever he was called,
Yeah.
that lad.
Oh, the one that the Spanish restaurant.
What didn't help?
Spanish restaurant.
Like Torero or something.
Ah,
It
he's
sounds like a
something.
tapas restaurant, didn't he?
Obviously, what didn't help them scored so damn early. That didn't help. They scored it felt like within minutes.
Right, that goal.
It felt like
Fuck, that
Dubravka,
free kick was
do you think he was positioned badly for
terrible.
that?
Absolutely terrible. I'm bang on in line with it where that
when
free kick is being taken.
Do you think he
And
put too much faith in his wall?
he was just far too far over. I mean,
We've had this debate many times.
he was
Well,
so
many
far
goalkeepers,
right. It was just inviting it to go. The only thing is I thought it was going to be right from the left side, right foot out around
I
the
did
wall
think
that
that,
way.
He
But
put it
it was
straight
the other
on.
left in over. He did well to get it up and down there.
It was a tremendous free
but
kick.
was a great free kick.
You're inviting them and saying, look at this great big space here, just put the ball
He
there.
was nowhere near it. I was Dubravka, not even close.
A couple of things. That was the worst thing Fernandes did in the game.
That free kick. It was soft.
The
but it was free kick.
lad's got his back to goal. He not hurt anybody, and he just tried to get, just try to. I don't know. He tried to rob the ball or whatever, gives a foul away. But I've said this time and time again, right? No one ever does it. I don't see if you didn't make a wall there, right, and Dubravka stands in the middle of the goal.
Where do you go?
And goes have a shot. He is not going to beat Dubravka from the middle of his goal with a standing ball, with his view totally open. He's not going to score, man. Dubravka
like,
could
does he
literally step twice. Right.
You just take a run up and just absolutely lace it,
Oh,
don't you?
and they think that's going to go in. It's not going in, man. If the goalkeeper is
Just to
standing
work for Shearer.
no, it's not, man. It's not. By having the wall and having a goalkeeper standing the other side, it gives them that target.
But the standing to
or-
one side and the standing to one side, he was.
It's because it does take some time to get that ball over the wall and back down. That's
It
what
does,
is.
but I reckon if you have a standing ball from 25, 30 yards out, keep it in the middle and go, right, shoot. He has all the time in the world
But
to
why-
react to where it's going to be going.
But why doesn't he just put the wall where he is and stand in the middle anyway?
Because then he's completely blind if it's going to go in that corner, his side. That's why he stands that side, so he can see where the ball is. Well, the idea is that anyway. But obviously, I agree he was standing too far over. But if he stands in the middle, then if that player, he can't see where the ball is then, and if he hits it, it's that side, he hasn't got a clue.
But that means he's just stuck an extra man on the end of his wall that he wants to
Position-wise,
get rid
though,
of. Position-wise,
Position-wise,
it
what?
was quite poor.
But even from the start of the second half, I said it almost immediately. We were a different side in that.
Yeah.
Even I know they scored early, but we were a different side, man.
To be
Like,
fair, we were just
awful.
from the kick off that second half. We were all over the place.
Yeah, absolute
There was
shambles,
no organized. It was like a totally different team.
Also, what we'll have got to mention, we did mention at the very start of the podcast in regards to Fernandes, that sliding tackle in the first half was first half, wasn't it? Because they were shooting towards Gallagher.
Oh, it was brilliant.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
Absolutely brilliant.
Did you think he was going to take him out?
Well, he for a split second he was 2 feet off the
It
floor.
was like a set.
I think it was like I said. He was shite now. I thought. But anyway, he was 2 feet off the floor for a split second, and I thought, oh, Jesus, if you don't get the ball here, you're in big trouble. Like, but you know what it is? He read the game so well. He's calm on the ball as well. He's very calm. He's fantastic.
I also want to give a bit of credit to
Dummett.
Dummett, because
I thought Dummett played well, actually.
defensively, I thought he was fantastic.
He was really good, yeah.
There was a few times where he stuck out the back by himself, and he was just no nonsense, just heading it out. Play.
I just get-
Crack on, get back, lads.
Did you actually notice he got forward?
He
as
did
well?
a few times. He did
Jesus
get
Christ.
forward. Yeah, he did.
I nearly passed out.
But there's four at the back, so you can understand why he's pushing on. Like, it's.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it was
you
probably
know-
knackered. You had probably good people that go any further. up
I think it was
pitch,
you see Richie's Cruyff turn in the middle of the
Yes,
field, and then he
yes.
sprayed that ball
Yeah,
out wide.
Yeah.
That Cruyff turn was unreal, you know. The way the ball came over
Tries
his
all
head,
the
and
time.
he just Cruyffed. It was absolutely awesome, that way. But anyway, sorry.
So yeah,
Go on,
that tackle was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it was amazing. Nice.
Just
Right.
what we
He was
talking about,
he was outstanding all game
Yeah,
for
he
me.
was.
Like he was.
He's very good. Very good.
It's a steal that we've somehow managed to
Yeah.
Another one.
get him. Like
No.
where's he? Because
So
I can't ever remember him
Remember
being
his name,
anything
yeah.
good, like when he was at Swansea or anything like that, or
it's
him
because
standing out.
we're
or-
not there. Like we're
yeah,
not there.
yeah.
This
No,
one's
but even in the games that you know that we play against,
I knew
and
he was
stuff
one
like
of
that,
their
and when you
better players.
watch them again, when you watch Match of the Day and stuff like that, you watch them when they're on the telly.
I haven't watched Match of the Day for weeks, mate. I don't want to be
Yeah.
reminded.
I'm just depressed.
I still depress myself by watching it.
complete depressed.
So yeah, second half they get the early goal. After that goal, it was just Arsenal non-stop, wasn't it? There was this tiny little patch where we got into it, but that was after their second goal.
We were sloppy, weren't we, man?
Their
So
second goal,
sloppy.
it was bad.
Just awful.
Really
just shit.
bad.
Just shit.
That was very, very,
There's just so
very,
many chances
very,
to close the
very
ball down, and we just kept on sitting back and inviting
Yeah.
them in, and inviting. Remember what Williamson used to do, and Stephen Taylor was worse for it.
yeah.
We just used to keep on running back, not
on,
even
back
attempt
on,
to
back on.
score. That's what every single player was doing. It was so
We,
frustrating to watch.
we never got anywhere near them at all in that second half. Not at any time I remember. We never.
I don't think
It's just.
Murphy had a bad game, to be honest.
Do you not?
No,
No, I
I
don't
thought
either.
that was
God.
probably his best game that he's had for it.
Well, if that's his best, my heavens above.
Honestly, I thought he was a player that was closing the likes of check down in defence. He was the only one in the second half.
There was a good
who
few
was
times where
running.
he was playing up alongside
Yeah.
Oslu and stuff like that, and
I
Perez
didn't
would
think. I thought that
drop
was
in and cover.
easily his best game, and obviously it's not much to go by. But
I thought he was terrible.
well, we know you're not his biggest fan.
No,
mate.
honestly, I'm not kidding. Every single time he got one-on-one with Bellerin, got in some great areas, time and time again. He never got past him once, and he never got a cross in the box. Every time he hit the first man that went out for a throw-in or a corner.
Oh fucking hell! That reminds us.
Every time. Man.
Corners. Oh my god!
Are we the? Do we have
How
the
bad
worst
were the
squad for
corners?
taking corners?
That
Well, the first half, I thought some of them were all right. Everything, well, the whole second, I thought they weren't too bad. the
every
first
single
half.
one hit the first man.
Disagree completely. There's a few times they were hitting into the back post, and Lascelles was getting round
the
the
last
back.
few in the second half did. First
the
half
fir-
weren't too bad. Second half.
Second half were absolute. Well, the whole before.
when Kennedy started taking them.
Well, that was even before that. Even Dummett started taking them, and
Well,
he was
that's how
doing it
bad-
the same.
that's
and
the
it's
last
like,
one, I think, Dummett did the
God.
last
That's how bad Kennedy was, because he looked at Doma. I didn't want
So
this. Like.
it was obviously Lascelles was his first substitution. Who went off after that? Was it Richie?
Yeah, fuck's sake, what's going on, man? He was the
What was supposed
only
like
player.
Perez was going off, then Richie was going off. No
Aye.
one knew what
Well,
the fuck was going on.
the wrong number up, didn't they? Put-
Yeah, well,
put
the
Perez
announcer
off,
even said
but-
Perez, didn't he?
yeah.
And everyone around me was going ballistic because it wasn't Perez coming off. But I said this a few times during the second half. We had a goal kick or something. Richie was like leaving his position to go into the middle of the pitch to shout at people, going like, "Come on, like
Yeah.
what we're doing, get your act together." And I'm not saying he played well. That's not the point. But he was the only one I felt that was trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
And he was trying to go the other side of the field. He was going central to try and help, because there were two centre midfielders, but diabolical the second half, by the way. Diarmi and Hayden were awful the second half.
Yep.
They couldn't pass, they couldn't tackle, they wouldn't run back. They were shit in the second half. Then
Did
too.
anyone else take a moment to realise what the hell was going on when Dummett and Yedlin switched places?
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah,
here?
well, to be fair, I'd seen that happen.
I was like, I hope he was hurry up and switch back.
He went over. Well, it took them ages
I
to
know.
get back because the ball wouldn't go out to play or into a safe area or anything like that. So they were both into that. And every time Dummett tried to start to go across, like something would happen and
Yeah.
he'd start
Yeah.
coming back.
So I was looking at like just down at us and I was like, why the hell's Dummett standing there? They're like, no, I was like, Yedlin's out of that. So I was like, when did that happen?
Because obviously,
We got forward and Yedlin had gone into the middle to cover like the break, and they broke down our left, so he'd have to go over to there, and then everybody.
because it was funny, because I laughed and I said to my dad, but I bang on about changing the wingers.
Yeah.
Like, because Murphy for me was doing now, so put him on the right for a bit. And we'll never do it. It's just we didn't do it. But we'll swap the fullbacks. So he'll fucking swap the fullbacks. So this is a laugh, And I know it was just forced upon
I'm sure
me.
he watches a different game to us, like, because we always swap our wingers.
Do a fuck.
It's just when
Do a fuck.
I think it's when Murphy's
Tell
on the
me
pitch,
a
you
time.
get-
Tell
you
me
get
a time on
blindness.
Saturday. Tell me a time on Saturday when Murphy's on the right hand side of the field.
Murphy didn't.
Never. We're so rigid in formation. It's embarrassing at times. Do you know them table football games? That's how static we are.
I think
That's how static we are. We
I think
don't move anywhere.
problem was, and a lot of people have been talking about the substitutions and the lack of substitutions. And I think, for me, looking at it sensibly, I think the fact that Lascelles had gone off for Clark really stopped us being able to make any willy-nilly changes to try
Speaking
and
of that, Clark,
influence the game and stuff like that.
his position, mate, what has happened to him as a player? I know he scored the goal, but bloody hell, he's half the player you
Well, it's like
was
that.
a couple of seasons
Well,
back.
it's what the Villa fans were saying when we signed him. Oh, he's a liability. He's all over the place and stuff like that. But he came, and he was brilliant. I think it's one of those where
I think it's hard to see he's a
and
liability.
Does
memory
his
serve us
level
that
in the championship.
Yeah,
he was brilliant.
Yes, he was very good in the championship, and that's it. That's it. He's a decent squad player.
I think we're
He's
expecting a bit
squad.
too much from him.
Well, we know that if Lascelles was fit and Lejeune was fit, he wouldn't be near the team. So what is he? He's a fourth or fifth choice centre back. That's exactly what he is.
Like,
Well, I think Well, I think Fernandez's performances of what's
no, but you would think, obviously,
changed
with
that.
Rafa bringing new players in,
Yeah.
you would think you want to play these players. Shaw Do you not think he would? Especially he has played a few games, especially when there's a back five.
Yeah, but he played midweek, didn't he?
He's obsessed with that, Rafa.
He only went to Jarrah, man.
And I had to travel back from Gateshead. He's like, yeah, are you sure you're right for Saturday?
Was Switzerland or something like that they were playing, or I don't know.
It's one of those things, right? So,
and going back, you said about obviously we've made the Lascelles substitution, and we can't make subs willy-nilly. For me, you've got 2 left, and there's half an hour to go. What are you waiting for? What do you think's going to happen? Like,
but all it takes is somebody to pick up a knock or something like that, doesn't it? Or it's
you've got to. When we went 1-0 down in that game, I'm not saying change it that quickly because crikey, it was like 5 minutes in. I'm not stupid, but 10 minutes after that period, I was like, "Fuck me, we're terrible. This needs to be changed. This needs to be changed quickly." And I was very surprised it wasn't made earlier. At least one substitution.
There's no one even warming
No,
up.
there was no.
I thought that the longer I went on with us being 1-0 behind and really being under it, I thought Shelby would come on.
If he's fit enough to be on the bench,
the ball and
if he's fit enough to be on the bench, he has to be fit enough for 20 minutes or half an hour.
So
Didn't put him on the bench.
The second sub was Kennedy for Richie.
Yeah,
is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, it was.
And then
Third
Muto
sub
came on
Muto for Murphy.
I think
so. There was no replacement of a striker, really, was there? I know Muto can be.
Well, Muto came and went and played in the number.
Number
10 in
time
front.
He comes on.
I like
He's all right. He's all right.
He hasn't done anything, but I like him.
He's fast across the ground as well. There was a couple of times where
he nearly closed check down.
Do you know what I find as well? He doesn't.
You know what it is? We just need a fucking break.
He doesn't lose the ball cheaply. A lot of times he was running into trouble and he still managed to find a shirt.
Yeah.
He done a lovely bit of skill on the far side, then crossed it full length of the field. He's alright, Tim. He's alright. He's better than Perez.
Just reminded. I
think
he started on that.
God, he was terrible.
That just reminded us freaking when you're saying keeping the ball and not giving it away cheaply and stuff like that. Fucking hell.
What?
He did it again, didn't he? Kennedy.
Oh, shocking.
Within 4 seconds.
How they didn't score from that?
Honestly,
it was nigh on a carbon copy of the goal that was conceded.
He picked the ball up on the wing. He tried to do a couple of things. He couldn't get past the player. He started dribbling back, didn't he, towards goal? Turned round, tackled.
And just turned straight into a tackle.
He turned round and thought he had all the time in the world, and the player went, "Cheers."
Like he's so low on confidence.
His confidence is just.
Mind you, in five minutes after that, he met someone. He met someone on the edge of his box, and they just went. And I was like, "We all know there's a player.
He's got it in him.
He has got it in him, but." I don't know.
Consistency in it.
There's something obviously not right with him, isn't there? Of course. And to be fair, I had no issues with him not starting the game. To be really honest,
he's so similar to Ben.
Well, as I say, that's why
he's so similar to Ben Arthur.
Benny's
not that bad yet.
Ben Arthur.
Fuck off, man.
Much better Ben Arthur.
He's saying he's not that bad yet.
Shut up, man.
Ben Arthur's never played as bad as he has.
Ben Arthur's another one who's played the splits fans right down the middle.
I think Ben Arthur could play with one leg.
He used to take on.
He could play with one leg and play better than Kennedy has recently. Definitely.
With the kebab in his hand.
With the kebab in his hand.
Who said, was it?
For 6 games.
Kebab. That Kennedy looked a bit fat. Was it you?
We were talking about it after the game.
So he looks like a bit chunky.
Well, he became a dad, hasn't he? So he's probably gone for the dad bod, just like ordering from Gills and that.
He looks heavy. He just doesn't look like he's on top of things. There's something not right there.
Right. Shall we get on to
20 million for?
Shall we get
at the minute anyway?
Shall we get on to Hayden?
Oh, crack on! Let's go. Let's go.
Ready for this?
First half, he was fine. There wasn't anything.
He's a passenger. To say fine, I think is a bit flattering.
I have never seen him have a good game, ever.
Southampton
that's
away.
A bit harsh.
Southampton away, he had a decent game. He scored
own goal.
And he had a decent
own
game.
Goal. Just like it was an own goal. I don't know what he doesn't tackle, doesn't break up play, doesn't start a move.
He just gets sent off. He doesn't.
I struggle to find what he does in a game of football. I struggle what he does.
Right.
I honestly,
that chance.
You've got Murphy.
Well, it wasn't a chance. But
You've got Murphy and.
It was a through ball, right?
I'm sorry.
So that through ball that was played through, right? Czech's the only one of their players running for that.
Oh God, yeah.
He did not even break a fucking sweat to get near that ball.
God, the roar was amazing.
The roar was mental.
That was the loudest part of the game, wasn't it? That was the loudest
people
part.
Screaming at him.
It was absolutely
appalling,
horrendous.
It was shocking. It was right in front of us, and I
doesn't surprise
during the
us.
match. I tend to stay quite calm, but things like that, I lost it. Like I'm just screaming all sorts. You just lose it at him because you don't mind when no one likes to lose games, but when there's so lack of effort, like involved in it, that was absolutely horrendous by him.
He could have got that
Easily. He could have actually
how many
challenged
times.
He shouldn't be on the field.
Absolutely bottled it.
He should not be playing for us.
bottled it.
It's as simple as that. As bad as we are, we're better than him.
And then Muto came on, and the same thing happened. The ball went through, and fair play to him. He ran through and he'd whacked. Check. He gave him a kick in the head again.
Again.
He
didn't fucking touch him, did he?
No, he didn't.
Well,
I couldn't believe it.
Not much.
You was thinking he had a stroke or something. He was going, oh, me arm. Yeah, man, piss off, man. No wrong with you.
Well, it's because it was late in the game, wasn't it?
Do you think that's probably the last
2-0 up, wasting time against us. We're the worst team in the league, man. You shouldn't be wasting time against us.
Do you think that's probably the last we'll see of Hayden?
I hope so.
Because he pissed fans off getting sent off. He was very lucky. And I think it was Izzy that made a good point, didn't he? Before the game, he sent a tweet out saying he's not on the Mitrovic bandwagon. Obviously, being a massive fan and supporting throughout anything, he went, but how can Rafa basically justify putting Hayden on, then use the excuse of Mitrovic temper, got him sent off, that's why he doesn't play games? He's got a point. Was it pure desperation that Hayden was starting?
It's absolutely... Nah, where was Key, like?
Was he on International G?
Oh, great.
See another one?
How many... We're shite. How have we got so many internationals?
The thing is,
We're absolute shite. We're the worst team ever, and we've got 104 internationals, apparently. I love 104. I say that quite regularly, don't I? Yeah.
You do.
I don't know why. It's me go-to number. But honestly, like, what? How have I got so many internationals? We're absolute shite. I'm sorry, we're shite.
How are we so bad?
Honestly.
with all these internationals, I've got no idea.
But listen, you're in
The
a
thing is, though, the top
desperate
teams,
scenario. Man.
full of internationals.
Play every
They
week.
fucking play every week.
Oh, exactly, aye. Exactly.
Is that because they're getting private jets that are like flying the players back? You know how Man City...
Actually, he's probably telling them to run back.
I see there's two Brazilians. Man City will be talking to like Chelsea and saying, "Oh, shall we like go between? We'll get a charter plane back."
maybe.
We're like thinking, "I'll just join them on the ferry."
Yeah, I know
we'll
the
get back
ferry.
eventually.
No, I think...
He probably sends a minibus up, man, to save money. Like picks like
Megabus.
starts in like Azerbaijan, drops down into Bulgaria, picks somebody up in Greece.
He probably just puts
Cross
them on
to
the back of
Italy.
the Sports Direct truck, didn't he? Just to keep holding
Aye,
this thing.
that's it. Aye.
We'll stick these in the
Stick him
container.
in there with the Lonsdale
Who
socks.
could have played then? If I think of it
In
logically,
midfield.
who could have played?
Key, Longstaff.
Nah.
But that's what I mean. So I think it was desperation, to be honest.
Is that all we've got?
Yeah. There's not much there, to be honest. There's not much. So these are struggling to think of one, is it? We're so... The squad's like...
Shelby and Key.
It's a
don't
pure
know,
skeleton squad, man.
and that's why I'm. Is Shelby only on the bench to fill a seat?
Well, Shelby, obviously. But if he wasn't brought on, he wasn't fit enough to play. If he's not fit enough to play, he shouldn't be on a bench.
No, I agree.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
totally agree.
Is he just there filling a seat?
Fucking desperation, man. It's shit, man. I was absolutely furious for that second half. You know, I was raging.
It was just.
I wasn't shouting. I just mean inside. I was just like,
cheese, wasn't it?
how can a team go in playing? I thought actually very well. I thought to then come out the second 15 minutes. What on earth happened in that 15 minutes?
Shall we
man?
talk about the frustration in
But
regards to
did you not start blaming Rafa for that?
Well, that's what I was
second
going to
half
say.
performance?
Shall we not get into this? Like, because Rafa has given a lot of criticism in the last couple of weeks in regards to formation and the players that are starting. You cannot understand people's frustrations. Hence, people expect a Rondon to play. Once again, if they're on the bench, how are they not fit enough to start? These are professional footballers, man. I don't believe the flight is going to.
These are the questions that need to be. You can understand the reasons why, but if you're not getting an answer to those questions, or if those questions aren't being asked, then
we're losing every game, man. We're losing every week. Like, I'm sorry, there comes a time where you've just got to play your best players. You've got to play the players you've got, whether they think they're going to be tired or not. I don't believe for a second that Rondon can't play 2 games in a week off a flight. He's not running back from Venezuela. Let's be fair, yeah. Let's be fair. And now he's getting back late. I get that. I do get that. I'm not stupid.
But he's sleeping.
He's
not sleeping.
He's having birthday kick the other day. He looked happy to me. He looked happy to me. Like
I'm pretty sure he was probably in first class with a reclining.
Of course he was.
A reclining seat.
And he hasn't like.
He had scored 2 as well. He scored 2. So he knows where the net is. He's obviously in form.
And even when he gets to these countries, his body hasn't even got a chance to adjust to their time zone. So he's still an hour time.
Well, that's the only thing is jet lag, isn't it?
How is the jet lag? He's not spending enough time in that place to adjust. So
he's been there. He's been there all week.
Has he? He's probably been there about 4 days or something, has he?
They would have went.
We had a game on Saturday, so you would have probably flew on Sunday.
So you would have went the next day, spent the whole week there.
She's back on Thursday.
It's a lot I don't know.
It's
It's not like he's flying out of Spain an hour and a half, 2 hours on the plane. He's staying on the best part of a day to get out of there.
He's not fucking sitting on an EasyJet though, is he?
But I'm not just talking about Rondon either, though. I'm not, we've mentioned a few, and that's why I've mentioned how we've got so many nationals. You talk about Shaw, you're on about. There's other players he's met. Key, for example, if he was away or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I just think sometimes, like, surely they're able to play 2 games in a week. Every other team seems to get on with it. Do you know what I mean? And I know that's Rafa's way.
Well,
I don't know. But going back to what you're saying, I'm telling you now, right, and I honestly mean this. Any other manager, right, apart from him, I'm going to Pardew McLaren, right? If that had been that performance in that second half, there would have been serious questions asked of what on earth happened at half time there. Because I am expecting any manager to get them players up for that second half better and organised better than I've seen on that pitch on Saturday. And if that was Pardew or McLaren, there would have been absolute hell on Saturday.
So are you telling me that he told them to go out and play like that?
So the same question is then, when fans were having to go at Pardew McLaren, do you think Pardew said that then? Do you think Pardew's like, hey lads, go out there, just 10 own goals will be fine?
He's got a point.
No.
But fans would still have a go at Pardew, though.
I think it's more along the lines of not changing when you realise it's not working.
Aye, it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. I'm not a football manager. I'm not qualified to be a manager, right? But I'm telling you now, I sat there and realised within 10 minutes of that second half, we need a change. We need to freshen this up. Hayden doesn't give a monkeys. He doesn't care at all.
Especially the ball that came from the fans when he didn't fucking.
And he's just keeping these players on the pitch. And I love Rafa, and I'm not trying to say that I don't want Rafa. This is the other problem as well.
Oh, people say that you criticise him, you want him out.
Aye,
that's not the point.
There's a line where you just automatically a closet. You criticise one substitution, you want him sacked. No, I don't at all. Of course I don't.
Are scared to say what they think because you'll get bellends slating them for disagreeing with anything Rafa does.
And I know the main issue here of all of this is him upstairs. I'm not stupid. I know that he wouldn't play fucking Hayden if he had the money to spend on a better player. I'm well aware of that. I'm not stupid. But at the end of the day, you've got a squad that you've got, and him not making a substitution earlier is wrong. It's wrong. It can't tell me any otherwise that was the wrong decision. Sorry, I vented a bit there.
No, I think there's many people who would agree with it. I agree with it.
I don't know. As I say, there's reasons that I can understand why you wouldn't. As I say, there's been a forced substitution on you. You've got to be careful with the substitutions that you then make. But you've got 2 left with half an hour to go. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You've got to bring Muto on, even just Muto alone, on for a bit longer. You know what I mean? Surely Perez or Murphy had offered personally,
nothing.
it would have been Shelby and Rondon for me.
Well,
would have been the 2 changes. But
let's go back to say what you see. You were right that Shelby's on the bench simply to be there in the squad just to give advice or be there for support because he isn't fit to play. Yeah. Let's just say that was a scenario. Fair enough, Shelby can't
do
play.
that without being on the
No,
bench.
I agree. Maybe, but going back to a squad so poor, maybe we just don't have the numbers to fill the bench. Perhaps was Atsu on the bench?
Isn't he not injured?
And I apologise that I should know this. Really, I'm venting. I don't even know. It's pathetic from me. Sorry.
Nah,
I should know the answers to these questions really, but. If he wasn't on the bench, fair enough. Because you see, I would have liked to see. I know he gets a lot of slack, but I would like to see him come on as well. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just getting as noisy as I was on Saturday. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
I love this because Deka just gets more wound up.
I do.
I'm waiting for the beeps.
no, I'm not doing it.
I just do. And I know that. You know, I didn't like people leaving either. People were leaving early. 15 minutes to go, and people are walking out. What are they doing, man? Did you walk out?
No.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, I'd never walk out.
He wasn't. Name the bench list, please. Sorry.
Doll, Manquillo, Clark, Shelby, Kennedy, Mutu, Rondon.
That's what I thought.
Okay, right. Fair enough.
I'm sure Atsu's injured.
So Kennedy, then, as much as he's not in form, for me, should have been on earlier. Mutu definitely should have been on earlier. And then that means you can't make the run on substitution.
Well,
I get that because I get that. I'm not stupid. I know that, but still. You've got to change Perez. Perez was absolutely useless. I'm sorry. Every time in the first half, even when we were playing well, he just ran into the opposition.
He wasn't that passenger, wasn't he?
He just ran into the opposition.
That's what he does every game.
And
See what it is? I don't dislike Perez. I do like Perez, but
I don't
when
dislike him. He just fucking annoys us.
He has a very bad game.
Do you know? Going back to the Hayden incident in terms of volume from the crowd of aggression, you'll not see many worse than when Perez got it in the middle of the pitch and we were breaking. And I think he had Richie on the outside. And I'm thinking, and he just kept on going. And I'm going, pass it.
Like 3-on-2, wasn't it?
And I just passed it and he lost it, and the crowd, rightfully so, just was, on the backs again.
It was similar to who done it last season. Was it Atsu done it last season?
Probably, aye. Or maybe Perez again.
There was
That's just basics
there
of
was,
football.
There was those things in the second half that happened, and you could just sense around the ground that there was so much negativity, venom, and
There's so
hate
much
coming from the stands.
anger stored up in
poison
people,
that was
wasn't
going.
it?
Yeah.
And it just got to that point, and you could see like pockets of the crowd just snapping.
There's disappointment the minute people go through the door now. Unfortunately,
Well, we were in the pub before, and
You
we'll
know.
get on to fucking the pub soon. So we.
Which pub?
I don't even know if I'm allowed to be in this pub or I'll get slated, honestly.
Well, we shouldn't even be in here because it's called Ashley.
It's called Ashley, so we're not allowed in here. What was I saying? Yeah, so we were at the pub before, and I was there and I was thinking, this just feels like we're so close to the end of the season and relegation's destined. I was like, 5 games into the season, I shouldn't be feeling like this. We have had a bad start,
that's
a bad
the only
fixture
thing.
run, but it's so deflating for a fan base, isn't it? Because people are kicking off over everything. People are kicking off over someone painting around a bin. People are kicking off over a shelf.
no, you're right.
People are
no.
kicking off about stains on Platinum Club roofs.
Yes, it's not all posh. The platinum colour, is it, mate?
No, well, it's funny. Where I sit, I'm going to I meant to say this as well. I sent me down. I'm going to mention this.
Just tomato sauce.
Hey,
out of the
no, they had. I'm going to be honest. They've got new burgers in, right? New buns that are absolutely beautiful,
Oh,
brand
right.
new, right? Totally different. They've got a nice section now where all the sauces are.
Fun and Ashley.
No, honestly, they've got all the where all the sauces are, knives and forks, proper knives and forks now and stuff. So I was like, wow, this is a bit better. However, then I went to the toilet and you seen the picture that's been going around of the crack in the wall.
Yeah.
I went past that and I was like, bloody hell, like it looks like the wall's about to come down. Do you know what I mean?
Looks like it's like a small drip somewhere. Doesn't
Oh,
it?
and the stewards have done off, so they must listen to this podcast because they don't sit there anymore. So that's good.
Perhaps they went to toilets.
So that's good. Like that was pleasing.
Bonus.
So I thought we wanted to, I already said we're going to win. We've got sauce, tomato sauce on tap. That was there. New burgers. I'm thinking this is it. We're made.
Is the pigeon still there?
Yes, the pigeon's still there.
Still there, is it?
Pigeon's still there.
There was another thing I was going to say, but sorry, I forgot. The tomato sauce centres.
Right. In regards to the Arsenal
Start
game,
getting moist.
I think we'll probably wrap it up here.
Oh, yeah, fair
Because I don't think we can talk much more.
It was just
Fernandez's
so
cross was
disappointing.
unbelievable, by the way.
fantastic.
Absolutely unbelievable. Put them two up front.
Fernandez, man of the match.
2 centre backs, get them up front.
Man of the
That
match.
was unreal. Oh yeah, definitely.
Aye.
Definitely.
From our side, obviously.
Yeah. Actually, I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. Actually, even if you think of their players,
Yeah.
I thought he was very good. Fernandez.
Wasn't it? As I say, about the
Demo ball, wasn't
maybe
it?
Shaka. That came on
And
for them.
just
He
an
was-
awful collapse on everything in that second half. Passion, commitment, creativity, everything was
It's
just
just
lost.
inexplicable. And you
Just
just
Arsenal fans
you
turn up in the 50th minute.
cannot understand
You've
it.
seen that, well, I can't say any fan base because we're fucking dire. at the
We are
moment.
terrible. It was the
Well, I-
worst game ever atmosphere.
See,
wise.
I seen a lot of comments about this, but
What?
where it was noisy in the Gallagher. Obviously, I've got the singing section away over this side, and I've got the corner here, so I'm kind of surrounded by it. But like,
I thought it was
there was
dreadful.
plenty of singing and noise and stuff
Must be
like
good
that.
acoustics with your side, mate.
Well, that's is it
Must be bouncing off
the
the
fact
walls.
that
His headphones in.
the roof keeps the noise in or something like that, or what?
keeps the pigeons in.
That's the nets that keep them in.
Right, we'll end it there.
Aye.
Thanks
Sorry.
for watching, everyone.
Sorry.
Subscribe to the channel. Help out a little bit.
Give us some nice reviews.
Yeah, give us some nice reviews. Don't be nasty to it anymore, okay? Alright, thank you very much.